have a hard time thinking in terms of success and what it can mean within my work. And for me personally, I feel most accomplished when I can somehow connect myself through my work and when I have the opportunity to also hear others. Every feedback feels quite special and I appreciate every opinion. And so when I get that exchange with an audience or with the public, for me that's what makes me happy. I'm Maria Miguel and I come from Porto, Portugal. I was mostly doing sound installations with my co-creator Miguel. We were trying to find a commonality between voice and sound. We were together in the Bachelor, and now I'm in a master program for the Dutch Art Institute called Art Praxis. The project that I'm currently working on is called Bucolic Mannerisms, or the Aftermath of Affection. It fits directly into my master thesis research, and I'm trying to bridge the gap between a theoretical research and an artistic hands-on research. I'm working towards somehow defining a compound word of absence wound, and I'm trying to see how many different types of absence I can work with and somehow come to me, and I have to manage them, and how absence can reveal a space for affection and for care to heal the wound eventually. I'm also interested in ritual work, repetitive motions with some different elements, and voice takes a huge part in this communication between the absence and the wound. Usually, for my creative process, I keep gathering elements and I let them simmer a bit in my headspace. And this means images, sounds, books, films, and any other types of possible inspirations. I've been connecting quite recently with scent, and that's been really good to find another way to bridge this, all of these elements together. And I sit with them, I wait, I let them form their own connections with each other, and then I look at them again and see how can I maneuver them around. I usually find myself between different ways of seeing, and I try to find somehow a way that feels right in the moment to explore all of these different types of mediums that somehow connect. And at some point it stops being a choice. It becomes an obvious connection to either a color or a texture or a scent or an idea or a sentiment or a language even. And the rest, maybe I'll come back to it at some point, but I'll let them still somehow connected into the headspace. I know I'm done with a project when I don't want to do it anymore. If I get tired and if it doesn't feel exciting anymore to keep working on it or keep presenting it, that's usually a good sign for me to let it stay. And sometimes it feels really good to go back to it and rethink about it through a different lens. But that's usually my telltale sign. I really wanted to join Capitão because I'm also looking towards the word saudade, which is fundamentally Portuguese, and it feels right to expand and develop this project within a Portuguese region, even if it's quite foreigner to me because I'm from the north. And it's quite interesting for me to be challenged with a landscape and to see how many different types of connections I can build in my own country with my own work. It's quite important for me to have quiet space, to have a beautiful space to work with. And the calm that I feel here has been really feeding into all of these themes that I'm working on. My fellow artists here at Capitão have been amazing. and connecting with me. And I think also it's been really good to see them explore and connect to the place we're in. It's also quite interesting to see how many commonalities we have with each other's work. Listening to all of these different experiences and people joining the same space, coming from different paths, and having the opportunity to have this ongoing conversation during 2 weeks. For me, it's one of the most important parts. The daily meetings have been quite special for me. I love to have the opportunity to sit with everyone and feel the residents in the room. We've had very special moments in these meetings, in multiple scenarios, with different answers. And I find a lot of inspiration, and I really enjoy knowing what the other person in front of me is thinking. I like to write down everything in these meetings because every word feels very essential. And it's also more material that I am really looking forward to look back on and to have this memory and ideas that I can work with. I feel ready now to go into the more hands-on material experiences. And now it feels right to expand them somehow and to find finally the links between my experience here and my experience before.